Guys, welcome to Freedom Homestead. I'm Tangie, and today I want to give you a garden tour because it has been a long time since we've done one and a lot has happened since our last garden tour.
What makes your garden grow? Water and sunshine. What makes your spirit grow? Knowing that she'll be mine.
So we're gonna start in the Freedom Garden, and I will I'll just show you what's going on. Okay, so I have weeded the garden except these last two rows. I had to stop because it was hot. But we'll start here in the front row. I have taken the insect barrier off. I couldn't tell that it was really helping. So I just went ahead and took it off so that way getting to these and picking the worms off and sprinkling diatomaceous earth on it would be a lot easier. You can see we have already harvested some of the cabbage, but I left the greens just to kind of act as a mulch here. But we still have several heads left to harvest. We're just letting them get more size on them. This one I will probably harvest in the next couple of days, as well as this one. So, and I need to go through here and weed, but it looks really, really good. Here in the second row, of course, I've got a mammoth sunflower here. This is okra. These back four are burgundy okra, and the rest are just the Clemson spineless. And I do need to go through there and weed as well, but like I said, I haven't got to this part yet. And then we have a beautiful marigold. I saved the seeds from our marigolds last year, and they are really showing off. My bell peppers, these are California Wonder Bells. Everything here I started from seed except for the cabbage and some of my herbs. Everything else, oh, and a couple of my squash, which I'll get to that in a second, but everything else here we started from seed. So this is California Wonder Bells from M.I. Gardener, and they're doing really well, except for these two down here. They're a little puny, but all the rest of them look fantastic. All right, this first row of tomatoes is Roma tomatoes. Again, this is M.I. Gardener seeds. We started all of these from seed. I actually got out here and pruned yesterday or day before yesterday, and I can already see I've missed some suckers. But a lot of the plants are starting to put on fruit. Now, we planted a lot of Romas just because they are good canning tomatoes. I prefer Amish paste, but this is what I had. See, look, aren't those cute? Then down here at this end, we have this big, beautiful scallop squash plant. This is the green tint Bennings variety, and we have eaten several squash already. But I wanted to show you this one. I've got two here that have fused together. Isn't that crazy? But it's looking really, really good, and it's being very, very productive. Okay, down this row, we have a few more Roma tomatoes. Then halfway down through here, I think starting right here down, we have mortgage lifters and Cherokee purples. And you might be noticing some additions. I'm gonna show you what I've been planning on doing with those 2-liter bottles that I've been saving. Okay, so I've been saving these 2-liter bottles for a while. I still don't have all that I need. I want one per tomato plant. I have 21 tomato plants, and I think I've got like 13 or 14 2-liters. So anyway, let me show you what we're gonna do with these. What I've done, I looked for these in a lot of different places and could not find them anywhere, but Walmart had them. This is a spike that you screw onto 2-liter bottles. It creates a self-watering, kind of a self-watering system. All right, so it's very simple really. You just screw on your soda bottle. I've cut the top off, they've been washed out. And I want to get close enough to the roots that this is going to do a good job watering, but I also don't want to be so close that I damage a lot of the roots. So anyway, we're just gonna I'm just going to kind of set it here and push in. I think I'm going to need both hands for this though. Yeah, so I think that's going to work. The spikes I think are like 6-7 inches. I hand water my garden, so instead of spraying the foliage with a water hose, all I'll have to do is come by here, make sure these are, you know, just put the water in there. And then I think how it works is it will gradually, it basically takes the water as it needs it. So anyway, we're gonna give this a shot and see how it does. This is a candy striped zinnia from M.I. Gardener. And it's doing really well. We had, whenever that tropical storm came through, the wind was really bad, and it really kind of pushed this down. It was growing nice and tall, but now it's kind of sprawling out, but it's still gonna be beautiful. It's got several bud heads on them, and it's just gorgeous. Ruger, what are you doing? Okay, so I have another zinnia here that's not opened yet. I believe this is another candy stripe one. But then down through here we have our zucchini, our straight neck yellow squash, as well as collard greens. So I'm not really sure. I forgot what I planted where, and then again whenever the tropical storm came through, it broke 2 of my squash plants down at the base. So I did go to a nursery and I bought a couple of squash plants to quickly replace it. As you can see, it is not the best looking. I think this is one of the reasons why it's so much better to start your own seeds. You just get a better product. Like this, well, these I direct sown, but you can see I do have a couple of baby zucchinis coming on. Very excited about having zucchini and squash. This is another one. And then from here over, we have Georgia collards. And I do need to come out here and harvest a bunch. I do have DE sprinkled on there because we were getting cabbage worms on them. And then down here at the end, we have a couple of sunflowers. And then these last 4 rows are peaches and cream corn. Everything's looking really good. But I did change something down here at the end. Really excited about this experiment. I am doing a 3 sisters garden row, okay? So here I have a pile of compost. It's a very small pile. I also have one down there. And what I've done is in this pile, I have planted pie pumpkins. And then down at this one, I planted, they're called sweet dumpling squash. And my understanding is that they're kind of like a butternut squash, but the fruits are only about 1 pound each. So it's almost like your own personal squash, or your own personal butternut squash, kind of, sort of. Anyway, so my plan is I'm gonna train the squash to go down this way. And then I'm gonna train the pie pumpkins, hopefully, to go this way. So we'll see. And then at the base of the corn here, yesterday I planted pinto beans from M.I. Gardener. And then the rest of these, I have some purple whole peas that my friend Shannon from Nearly Organic Noshing sent me. And so I'm gonna get these weeded out, and then I'm gonna plant the purple whole peas on these. And again, this is an experiment, and so we're just gonna see what happens, do our best, and hope it's successful. And yeah, so that's what we're gonna do there. In case you're wondering what this is compost. All right, these definitely need some water, and these definitely need to be have more dirt put over them. These are the Canierly yellow-eyed beans from M.I. Gardener. They're a dry bean that are white and creamy, kind of like a cannellini bean. So we're trying that there. And then again, we just have these potatoes. I hope I haven't waited too long to cover these, but I know that I need to get on that. So these 4 containers are russet potatoes. Ruger, get out of there. Ruger, come on. So let's make our way over to the Liberty Garden, which is what we call our herb garden. You'll probably be able to see right off that our cilantro has bolted. And I'm just letting it because the pollinators really seem to love these flowers. That's our parsley, our broadleaf sage, basil, thyme, rosemary. Here is our, here's our dill. I need to stake those because they have both fallen over, but they are so pretty. And then here we have our Italian oregano that is also flowering. I need to pinch those off. So, and I also bought these. They're looking a little rough today. I just watered them this morning, but, oh great. But anyway, they look beautiful. The whole garden does. And now let's look at the Victory Garden. The zinnias just look incredible. And I will be honest with you, yesterday I harvested about 6 of the Blue Lake bush beans and I ate them raw while standing in the garden. They were delicious. But look, see, I have a few here I can go ahead and harvest today. But just a few, so they'll be eaten raw as well. The scarlet runner beans, I don't know if it's because it's hot or what, they are growing. They're just not as full as I imagined they would be. And again, whenever that tropical storm came through, I had so many little baby green beans that I believe it just blew them right off. But we still have a lot of buds coming on. And so I'm hoping they just keep going and that we can get a lot of beans off of them. There's a moth. So the showstopper in this bed is most definitely this squash plant. This is another patty pan squash. This is a white patty pan squash, and they are so pretty. My daughter's boyfriend said they don't even look real because they're so shiny and pretty. This is obviously still really young. It's got the blossom still attached, but they really are beautiful. And it is just, it has put on, I mean, there's so much fruit on it. It's crazy. This is a red cactus zinnia. I saved the seeds from this from our garden last year, and it does not disappoint. It is beautiful. Y'all trying to cool off now? Okay, so this is the garden bed that I refer to as the salad garden because this is where I had all of my lettuce and spinach and Swiss chard and salad onions and this beautiful pink bumblebee grape tomato plant. Started this from seed. This is from Baker Creek, but look at all that beautiful fruit. I am so excited, you guys. Just gorgeous. So yes, the spinach and the lettuce had started bolting and tasting really horrible. So I have actually planted all through here Canter bush beans. They're a green bean that I know the Stivers over at Stivers Homestead really like. So through the, all through here and down through here and then all through here is what I've got planted, are those green beans. So yeah, we're really looking forward to those. This is a pygmy sunflower, and it is starting to peek over the side of the the bed now, so that's exciting. This is another beautiful zinnia. There's some basil. There's basil down there that I started from seed. And this is a volunteer tomato plant that I found growing in our Liberty garden, so I pulled it up and planted it over here. I have no idea what kind it is, but we will definitely find out in the very near future. I need to stake it. But yeah, it hasn't put on any fruit yet that I can see. So yeah, I don't know if these are gonna be big tomatoes or little tomatoes. And this is another pygmy sunflower. Here is my spaghetti squash. I need to get it trellising, and also the leaves are showing some sun scorch. But other than that, it looks good other than that. So I just need to take care of it better. Here's another pygmy sunflower that's doing really well. In this bed, this is where I had my garlic and I pulled it all up. I've got onions back here that I'm trying to get to grow big bulbs. Okay, so through here, where the garlic was, I planted beets and peppercini peppers. Anyway, so some of the beets have come up, but the peppers have not. So I don't know if they will. We'll see. But over here I have my banana peppers, and most of them are looking really good. I have beets planted in between them. I've got Kyoga and golden beets planted there. And then over here are my jalapenos. And I've been hearing from a lot of y'all on Instagram, and I'm in the same boat, that the peppers are just not rocking it this year. But I will say, just in the last 24 hours, a couple of my pepper plants have perked up significantly. I haven't really done anything. I did put some trifecta at the base of them yesterday, but they haven't been watered in. So I don't think it's that necessarily. But see, a couple of my plants are doing really well back there. And they've just done well since the beginning, but the rest of these I was really starting to worry, but they're starting to green out. And they look like they're trying to grow. So we'll just let them. We'll see what's happening. Here's another beautiful zinnia. Okay, in this front bed, we have strawberries. I bought strawberry starts from In My Gardener. I bought 20 of them, and out of the 20, 9 are still living. So I'm not too worried about it, just because these strawberries will set off runners. And so I know that by this time next year, the bed will be mostly full. So I am not too worried about it. What I am going to do, I think, is right now where there's not anything, I'm gonna plant something else. I just don't know what yet. Here's another one of those baskets of petunias. That down there is a lemon balm, and it's trying to grow. It's going slow than I have had in the past, but it's all right. In this front row we have broccoli rabe, which is doing really, really well. I'm really excited. I hope they're successful. So far, so good. And then the rest of these are blue lake bush beans. And then of course we have our pickling cucumbers. And I have several, no, Georgia, no. I have several this size. Not enough to do a canning session, but I think what I'm gonna do is go ahead and pick the ones that are this size and a little bit larger, and just make up I use Mrs. Wage's dill pickle mix, and make up a brine, and then just do refrigerator pickles with the ones that are this size. I don't know, I might wait a few days and let them get a little bit bigger, but I personally, this is the size I like. And then here in this last bed, we have carrots, and we have Egyptian walking onions. So the carrots are doing okay. If you're new here, the bald spots are where one of our dogs walked through here. The other side is much worse. You can see through here. There's just a few. So I am actually tempted to pull these up and to pull up the Egyptian walking onions. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, no, don't pull up them. Okay, so I let these go to seed, which is what these little buds, these little bulbs are here. Because I'm thinking about moving them. I really want to just do a whole bed of carrots. We like carrots. And I want to move these. So I think I'm just going to harvest them, and then we'll eat as much of the plant as we can, and then I'm going to save the little bulbs, and then maybe have Jackie build me a 4x4 raised bed just for the Egyptian walking onions, because I feel like I would have liked to have had this whole bed to carrots. Also, I said this year that I was going to try to do more container gardening. So you saw the beans and the potatoes and the squash. I also have some chocolate mint, which really hasn't grown a whole lot. I'm really just ignoring it and not really doing anything with it. It doesn't really seem like it's grown since the last time I cut it, which has been a couple of weeks ago. So I don't know. The chives are growing. Chives are extremely resilient. I harvest it, and that's it. I don't feed it, I don't water it, I don't do anything. I just harvest from it. A little over a week ago, and it's already this full. So I just need to harvest it again. It does look like it needs water, but like I said, I really just ignore it, and it does really, really well. And then this I'm really excited about. This is This is a muncher cucumber plant. There's 2 of them in there, and I'm hoping to grow these successfully in containers, so we'll see. I don't have any fruits yet, just male flowers, and the cucumber leaves have some sun scorch on there. Not a big deal. I've actually cut some of the bad ones off about a week ago, and it just filled right back out, like no big deal. So I do have a little water in here, so even though it looks really dry on the top, it's pretty moist a couple of inches down, which is where the roots are anyway. So anyway, that's that. So many updates to give you guys. Okay, so y'all saw my garlic braid that I did in one of my last videos. So here is the lesson learned and the update. So I followed the instructions of a YouTube video that I found. They let it cure for 24 hours. They let the garlic cure for 24 hours, and they braided it, and then they said they hang it up for a couple of weeks and let it finish curing. So that's what I was going to do because I'm impatient and I didn't want to wait a very long time before braiding it. So here's what ended up happening. 2 things. One, as the greens dry, they start to shrink. So where I had it tied up at the top, as it started to shrink, it came out of its tie, and I had it hanging up on one of my canning shelves downstairs, and so it fell because it shrunk. Another thing is that because there were so many of them and it was so thick, and it wasn't dried all the way, some of the greens started to mold. So I just took it out of the braid. What I should have done was taken it out of the braid, cut off the moldy ones, and then let them dry with the green still on, and then braid it again. But I didn't think about that until after I had already cut the greens off. So then what I've done, of course, that's been over a week ago. So what I did, cut the greens off, and I just brought the garlic out here. And this is a pallet table that Jack made for us to have by the fire pit when we eat out here. And I just stuck them down in here. And I mean, I'm going by what I feel now. I'm gonna trust my own instincts. So I'm gonna wait until it's completely white. You can see there's still some green there. But I'm just letting them dry out here. I do bring them in when it rains. You may not have to, I don't know, but I'm just doing what I think, what feels right, what makes sense to me. So like this one is totally ready. I can bring this in now. It is completely white in the middle. It is totally dried out, and it looks really great, right? Just some of the thicker ones are still kind of green in the center. So, but the little scrawny ones I think are all, well no, that one's still kind of green too. This one's probably ready. But anyway, so that's my lesson learned. Next time I will let them cure completely before I braid them, because having the braid really was cool. It looked really pretty, and I like the look. And plus it helps with, you know, saving shelf space and everything. So anyway, so that's my update on the garlic and my lesson learned. Let's see, homestead update. As you guys know, we are homeschoolers, and we graduated our first homeschooler. With thanks to God and an acknowledgement of His enabling grace, we joyfully present Emily Jordan with this diploma. It is the culmination of her high school education, a milestone at which we recognize her many accomplishments and evidence that she has fulfilled all requirements for graduation, dated this month of June in the year of our Lord, 2020. I have no greater joy than to hear that my children walk in truth. So, congratulations. Why we have been MIA. We have been so busy getting everything ready. And I think that's it. Oh, wait a minute. There is one more thing. We have 8 barred rocks, and someone asked why 8. We figure 4 to 6 chickens for our family size is good, and then we got a couple of extra just in case some of them die. Okay, so I wanted to show you really quick the setup that we have. This is our first time, so it's probably imperfect, and you guys can probably spot a million things that we've done wrong so far. But I'll show you the setup. Here's our heat lamp, and we've got it suspended from the ceiling using the hooks that Jack installed for our grow lights. So this actually works perfectly. We're able to adjust the temperature by raising and lowering the heat lamps. We do have them into the large storage tote. And believe it or not, like I cleaned all this out yesterday or this morning. They're all still alive. They're all doing good. We still have all 8. They're eating. They've got their water over there. I set the water down into a saucer just to catch the water that they splash out so it doesn't get their shavings all wet. I do have some lettuce down there as well as some grit, chick grit, which they just about knocked it over. But anyway, but yeah, they're doing really good. 3 of them this morning I had to treat for pasty butt. The rest of them look really, really good though. They're getting feathers. So yeah, I mean, I'm a total newbie, my very, very first time, but I think it's going really well. It's a lot more low maintenance than I thought it would be. I check on them a few times a day, make sure they have plenty of water, you know, make sure they haven't knocked their food over. Looks like I'm gonna have to get that lettuce out, I don't know. But yeah, anyway, so far so good. You guys enjoyed this update. I'm sorry that we've been MIA. Like I said, it's just been really, really crazy. Yeah, so that's all that we've got for you guys. Until next time, remember to be vigilant, be prayerful, and be prepared. Bye, guys.